Hello, I'm Ryan F9 and this is how I layer up for riding in cold weather. Wow, what an interesting topic we have today. Glorified underwear. But we shouldn't joke, because a decent base layer can add a whole month to your riding season, and that commands respect. With my own money, I choose merino wool, and one of the cheapest ways to get it is FXR's Vapour line. That's Vapour spelled the correct way with a U, because FXR is Canadian. You can get Vapour pants and shirts in 20, 50, and 100% merino. To give you an idea of cost, the 20% long sleeve shirt costs $40, whereas this 100% merino long sleeve shirt costs $110. If you do the math, you're getting the most merino for your dollar with the 100%er. And that's what I recommend, since merino is what we're after here. It comes from a superior kind of sheep. Their wool is especially fine, which makes for a less itchy base layer. Also, merino fibers don't feel wet to the touch until they're 60% saturated, so you stay dry longer. And when the fabric does get soaked, merino fibers don't collapse. And that means the garment's going to keep its shape, it's going to keep its thermal properties, which is really rare for wet clothing. And also your sweat won't be able to embed itself deep inside any collapsed fibers. Because of that, the shirt's not going to get that funky smell that shirts sometimes get after they've been wet. To praise the sheep some more, merino contains lanolin. It's naturally waxy and hydrophobic, meaning that your woolies are going to be quick wicking and quick drying. And not to mention lanolin's antibacterial and anti-odor properties, which are excellent if you're planning on going multiple days between washes. Setting aside the sheep for now, FXR did some clever work of their own. The stitching is flat lock, meaning pieces of fabric are joined edge to edge rather than one on top of the other. This way you won't feel those annoying seam ridges when you start to layer up. I'm 6'3", 175 pounds, wearing a size medium. It fits great, but that is hardly a surprise since there are 160 grams of stretch fabric knitted into the merino. The cut is quite long at the waist to avoid showing some belly, and there are thumb loops on the sleeves to avoid showing some wrist. And the color I have here is charcoal high vis, which is decidedly silly for an underlayer that will literally never be visible. Now, some people prefer synthetic fabrics to merino, and they're wrong. But if you must be wrong, Firstgear's 37.5 collection is the best way to do it. Basically, this stuff contains active particles that do two things. They increase the size of the fibers by 800% when they get humid, and they increase the surface area of the fibers when they get warm. So, if you're riding around in the dry cold, no big deal. This is just a standard thermal layer. But then when you get wet, the fibers are going to expand to wick more water away from your body. And then when you get hot, the fibers create more surface area to more quickly evaporate sweat. Essentially, this is a heating layer when you're cold, and a cooling layer when you're hot. Makes sense that Firstgear named it after the middle ground then, 37.5, as in 37.5 degrees Celsius, the equilibrium temperature that our bodies like to hang out at. Now they also claim that this garment tries to reach 37.5% humidity because that's what our skin finds most comfortable, although I think that is a massive stretch for the sake of branding. Anyway, you do have lots of options in the 37.5 collection. In pants around $100, you got shirts just south of that, and then balaclavas way south of that, around the $50 mark. All of which include flat lock seams and stretch fabric, by the way. For what it's worth, my convertible balaclava has 3 modes: serious crimes, cowboy crimes, and fashion crimes. Now, 2 oddball choices to wrap this up. Firstly, we have the EVS Tug, for those that want a thermal layer and a compression layer in one go. Compression clothing is said to increase circulation to enhance performance. It's said to decrease the buildup of lactic acid, it's said to reduce swelling, it's said to prevent deep vein thrombosis on long rides. The anecdotal evidence is overwhelming. The scientific evidence is not. All I know is that the EVS Tug is lovely to wear, and it doesn't pull your body one way or the other. Instead, it limits the compression to active zones, major muscle groups, to the forearms, the biceps, the pecs, and abs. Say hello to my beefy boss. He's modeling the compression shirt because I have no muscles to compress. Now, our Tug comes in sleeveless versions, long pant versions, short pant versions, armored, non-armored, you name it. All of it is priced aggressively, all below $100. Thermal properties are fairly average for a 90% polyester, 10% spandex blend, except for the back. It's pure lycra mesh, much more ventilation than insulation. Now, our second oddball choice is for people who want thermal layers that they can also wear around town. Consider the Klim Inferno jacket. It's thin and stretchy on the outside, with warm 380-gram fleece on the inside. A perfect mid-layer then, with flat-locked stitching to lay comfortably under a larger jacket. And yet, we have a main zipper, very low profile. We also have a chest pocket, also sunk flush with the shell. And hidden underneath these flat lock seams, we have 2 more YKK auto-locking hand zippers. This jacket is decently competent on its own. And it looks the part, right? Now for a little over $100, I'm getting 4 color options here, plus a 5th special Africa Twin version, which costs $35 more just because it's red. I wouldn't mind getting a slightly higher collar on this jacket just because my neck often gets cold underneath the helmet, and I'd like to see thumb loops too, although there is enough stretch material knitted into the Inferno that the sleeves rarely ride up on me. I should also mention that you can also get the Everest from Klim if you want to go one level warmer. Now, for bottoms there is a matching pant to the Inferno, but you won't be fooling anybody at the local pub because they look like pajamas. Better to choose the Klim transition pant instead. It's still a mid-layer, but Klim says they look so good you'll want to wear them everywhere. I'm not quite sure about everywhere, but these pants do look good enough for somewhere, like your buddy's garage or a highway diner, or anywhere that you'll look classy for just not wearing long johns. Now this spandex nylon shell does have a moisture-wicking micro fleece interior, but it isn't as warm as the Infernos. I think it's good enough for the legs though. I actually own a pair of these for riding and snowshoeing in Montreal, and I've had them down to -30 before I started complaining. And even then I wasn't complaining about my legs. As an underlayer, the transition has the usual 4-way stretch. Now plus the button closure, the fly zipper, the pockets, the Velcro waist adjusters, the belt loops, they're all designed to lay flat under whatever you're wearing over top. My only beef here is with the thigh pocket. For some reason, Klim forgot about their love affair with the YKK auto-locking zipper, because this is just a regular floppy zipper that sticks out a bit more. And those are my favorite base layers. Thanks for watching.